G'day and welcome to Catch the Spur. The fallout from the Liverpool game is front of mind, but it's not all doom and gloom. Let's take a look. So last night, as you're all aware, we lose 2-0 to Liverpool. We open with a very standard kind of lineup with Copping goal, Ribrink, Koga, Hunt, Nilden at the back, Spence and Summonen defensive midfield, with Gorsup sitting at central attacking midfield, Olivia Holt wide left, Beth England up top, and Hermano up top on the right. We start off the game very slow, very unlike ourselves. We can't progress a ball up the field, and I'd like to go into why. With the new loanee Hermano coming in on the right, and Ribrink back there because Ella Morris isn't available yet, and Ashley Neville's just been sold, that's obviously our weaker side. So the way we usually like to set up, and it was no different this time, we played a back four, 3 stayed more central, giving Amanda Nilden a bit more freedom on the left, who did progress the ball every now and again to Olivia Holt, and Olivia Holt was just held out of the game. Man-marked and not given any opportunities. The couple of times that we did work well down that side was when Amanda Nilden was playing the ball to either Holt or England and then doing some really nice overlaps, creating too many men on that side. But too frequently were we working the ball down that side, finding that it was blocked out and we were having to play across because they were sitting so far to their right-hand side, which was stopping our left. Firstly, I'd just like to speak about who I thought our man of the match was, and I think it was Kopp at the back. She made a couple of really good saves, and we should have been completely out of that game much earlier than we were, because she just kept us in it with excellent stops, especially the one with her foot down low to her left from a corner, and it was only touched around the 6-yard box. Excellent save. She might not have known much about it, but it was very reactive and definitely kept us in it. She was also very good and strong in the air, which is something she has been a little bit hit and miss about, but this is one of her best games. Now that brings us to the most contentious part, and I'd like to dive in a bit deeper about where we went wrong and where I saw the problems arise. So on the right-hand side, I've already spoken about our lack of opportunities down that right-hand side, but Ribrink was getting absolutely torn apart. Yes, we could have tried playing Blackstad or Nilden on the right, but I don't think that would have solved our problems. Holland was just too strong, and she had a fantastic game, and how we should have set up was bringing in Summonen or Spence into that central defensive mid and pushing Koga across to give that extra support and just working a little bit better defensively as a unit there and just pulling back Gorpset a little deeper from attacking midfield. And then that brings me to my main problem. Deep into the game, it's still 0-0, and you pull off England and you pull off Holt, who wasn't getting involved in the game very much in regards Holt, and England was our best striker for the day. Even when Tinker came on, England looked so much more dangerous, especially with the header that she took from that cross. And the problem I see most with it is you've got a player that you're bringing on in Artinen, and you're taking off players like Holt and England, who are target players that are good to hit inside the box. You probably should have taken someone like Gorpset off, and bringing on someone like Matilda Nilden, who's a shorter player, isn't going to be getting on the balls that Artinen's delivering. Yeah, Artinen's a great player. She should have come on. But you can't take, especially Beth England, off, as she's going to find those crosses into the box to Tanberg's head and to England's head. And out of everyone in our team that's the best in the air, it's got to be England. I would have also liked to see Gorpset go a little bit earlier for Olivia Holt to come into the middle. Gorpset's been excellent the last couple of weeks, especially in the midweek fixture in the FA Cup, but she wasn't at her best today. Even the commentators said that she had an excellent fixture, and she just didn't really create anything, and she didn't break the lines. She even had a one-on-one with keeper and didn't put it away. Kept it low. Any striker knows you put that 30 centimetres above the ground and it's likely going in. The keeper's staying low, staying really wide and low to the ground. And you're either going to hit a leg if you go along the ground, or you're trying to just scrape it around them. If you put a little bit of dip on it, that's when you're going to be beating a keeper, where it's between the leg and between the arm. But I thought Martin Ho was just too stagnant today. We're not the kind of team like the Cities, like your Chelseas, like your Arsenal, that can have a bad day and still grind out a performance. And the other thing that was a really key factor, and I've already touched on it, is Olivia Holt is the best centre attacking midfielder in the league, in my opinion. And we've chucked her out wide. She's not getting on the ball. And the few times she looked good was when she was able to rotate with England. When we look our best, we've got Tandberg, we've got England, we've got Holt, and they're rotating as a 3. Hopefully Gorpsett can come into that role, maybe play her out wide, and have 4 of them rotating. The best looking strikers and attacking forces in the world, let's look at the men's game, Manchester City, before they had Haaland, they were playing false nines all the time. And people like Tandberg are incredibly smart and don't have to just sit up top. Her role model is Harry Kane. Harry Kane is the best person in the world for dropping deep. And England picks up all of that space. Now, with all this in mind, I do think Martin was too slow to pull the trigger today, but he hasn't been all season. He's been the first one to jump on any player and say, let's go, we're pulling you off and we're changing things up. So I don't think it's going to be something that is a problem going forward. I think maybe he had his idea set that he was going to play certain players today, and he didn't change his mind from that when things didn't start going the way we expected them to go, especially with Liverpool looking as a whole new team almost. So I don't think this is the worst situation in the world. Yes, we were not very good, but we're a very good team, and losing games like this can either do 2 things. It can destroy you, or it can build you up. And the thing that gives me a lot of confidence is Beth England comes out straight after the match, and even when she was getting subbed off, very visibly upset. But she comes out, she says, this is not the standard of Tottenham Hotspur, and we will play better. We will bounce back. We're not going to focus on this. Yes, we're going to use it as a learning opportunity, but we're going to move forward. We're going to be better. And that's the kind of things I want to hear out of our captain. And yes, you can see that Martin Ho really believes that as well. The speech that he had in the huddle, he was very passionate. He was very loud. He was very forceful. I think this is a very good sign. So where does this leave us? We're 5th in the table. We've played 13 games. We've got 9 to go. We've got West Ham next week, with Chelsea the following. I think we come out and play a very attacking-minded, positive game of football against West Ham. We re-find our feet and we go on leaps and bounds. Martin's not the kind of manager to stay stationary and also come up against teams higher on the ladder like your Chelseas, like your Cities, like your Arsenals, like your Uniteds, and play underwhelming football. He wants to go out there and hit it with the best. And that's the kind of football team we strive to be. And up until this week, we have looked it. And we've taken it to Arsenal. We didn't put up much of a challenge against City. Chelsea got the better of us because they were just a lot better and really used our wing back sitting high and putting those balls over the top against us. But I think we go into that Chelsea game really positively. I haven't actually talked about it yet, and I probably should before the end of the video. Obviously, I'm wrapping it up. But to concede a goal like that off a corner is very sloppy. And then we had to go guns blazing, and unfortunately, Sumanen gets a slip. They concede another goal. But I'd prefer to see that than us go out there and not give 100% after we've conceded and just take a loss of 3 points. We had a chance to get a point. We took that to the extreme. We were going for a nice long ball into the box. We held it up a little bit too long, slipped, conceded a second goal. But I think it's much more positive seeing that than go out there and throw the game away and try and use build-up play with such little time left. Anyways, I'll see you next week against West Ham. Have a great week. Come on, you Spurs.